Vodewa and the Wampyr. I should explain. When I first spoke with her, whilst she was still a student, and with Barbara as well, actually, whom I didn't really get to know, they had witnessed something supernatural, undoubtedly, in the 60s. And she introduced herself to me as Elizabeth, softly and nicely spoken. I think she inherited those rather nice qualities from her mother, who is extremely pleasant. Anyhow, Elizabeth really plunged me into the deep end of the Highgate case. I had been aware of rumblings, as someone who is more than vaguely interested in the supernatural, as had my colleague, Peter Underwood, from the mid-60s. Rumblings of a predatory nature and demonic in essence. We both arrived at a similar conclusion, and when he came to write about it in an anthology where I was invited to contribute 1/3 of the text, I think I included pictures of Elizabeth, as she was still known, to the book. Which became very successful. And not too long afterwards, I would write and have published the first edition of my own book, which concentrated entirely on the case up to a certain point, again in which Elizabeth featured. I would eventually refer to her correctly as Elżbieta. Curiously, many people called her Wojdyla, which was an absurd pronunciation, but one used quite often. And of course it was Wodywa. So her name in truth was Elżbieta Wodywa. It's sometimes easier for people to know her as Elizabeth, which is a name she used herself when meeting people. Now, these incidents developed in the mid-60s, and Elizabeth and her friend were material witness to the most alarming of them. This almost sucked me into the case, whether I wanted it to or not. I was compelled to deal with what was happening. Eventually, when I had time, it became my full-time occupation. But for now, in the 60s, I would concentrate on helping Elzbieta and thereby Barbara as well. Although Barbara made it very clear she really didn't want to be involved in any form of publicity. Elizabeth realized the importance of people being aware of quite what was afoot in Highgate, and didn't mind my interviewing her and publishing the interview. Elzbieta introduced me in time to her boyfriend, who was remarkably helpful. In assisting with her, I won't say possession, but obsession with what she had seen and what happened afterwards. Well, it did take hold of her. And all this is reported in my book. At the end of the decade, I was introduced to the public on the front page of the Hampstead and Highgate Express. It correctly described me as a photographer. And titled the front page headline, "Does a Wampyr Walk in Highgate?" Wampyr meaning vampire. It's an Eastern European term. And things escalated thereon. But for now, we are dealing with Elzbieta Vodiwa.
In 1969, Bishop Manchester discovered startling evidence of vampire attacks in Highgate Cemetery.
As far as we know, it has only physically attacked one male person who has passed by the gate, but there are others who amply attest to have been visited by it in their beds at night.
One of these victims was Elizabeth Vaudewa.
Yourself? Myself and a girlfriend. And we were walking down, and we established that this was the time we both saw, where there was a graveyard in front of you, and the graves were opening up, and people were rising.
Elizabeth's boyfriend at the time, Keith McLean, began noticing changes in her.
There was an exorcist moment, and I was lying in bed, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and a very deep voice, almost a male voice, came out of her mouth saying, "I'm going to bring both of you down." So I was doing a lot of praying.
One day I woke up, and I went downstairs. There was two lumps on my neck. They weren't lumps, they were like pinholes.
I hadn't included the possibility of it being a vampire because I hadn't even thought of that or realised the existence of vampires. But then, when Bishop Manchester spoke to me and explained about the legions of the undead, thereafter everything fitted and totally made sense. I believe it was a vampire, yes. I don't have any doubt about that.
To save Elizabeth from certain death, Bishop Manchester and Keith McLean claimed to have performed rituals to rid her of this fiendish vampire, and very quickly the night visitation stopped, and Elizabeth made a full recovery. The hunt was now on for the resting place of the Highgate vampire.
Bye.